My name is Tammy Rivera, Executive Director of SOC. Today is 11/11 of 2020, Veterans Day. So we want to thank all of the veterans that have been dedicated to our safety and to all of the families that also make the sacrifice. And, some of them make the largest sacrifice of giving their lives. So we're thinking of all of you guys today, and we're very grateful. If you would like access to previous forums, you can find them on our Facebook page in English or in Spanish, and then also on our YouTube page. Today we have with us the team that's helping us. So Gabby is in production, Alan is in comments, and Andrea is helping coordinate. So thank you to the whole team for always being here, available for you guys, just like we have been since the pandemic started. I want you guys to know that the only way that we can't do our work is in person because of the crisis that we're still finding ourselves in with coronavirus, especially in the two areas where we have our office and where a lot of us live, including myself, and where a lot of you guys live as well. And mostly this district, which is 53204, excuse me, and 53215. When we're out of danger, then we will definitely see each other in person. But up until then, please be safe. Call us at the same number as always. Oh, sorry. 672-8090. You can always send us an email as well, soc@socmilwaukee.org. And of course, our website. We have an entire page dedicated to information and resources, different ways that you guys can take action about COVID. So that's www.socmilwaukee.org. If you guys have found this forum to be useful for you, I ask you to please participate with us and help us fill out the survey. You can see the link in the comments. There's only 3 questions. It doesn't take more than a few minutes. And it helps us a lot. And you can see all of the, you can let us know what information has been useful, if you have an idea of something else that we should do, something else that you need, and if there's an area that you think needs to be changed. It's important to us to hear your voice. We want to hear. And then, of course, we always have to show our sponsors that we are acting in the community. And so this is a good way for us to show them that. You guys are seeing me today without a mask because, like I mentioned before, we are working virtually from home. I'm at my house in one of my rooms, and that's why I don't have my mask on. But of course, we are following the rules if we go out. We can see how many people are with us, but I can't see who. So I can only see if you guys say hi or put in a comment. That's when I can see who's with us. So please say hi. Let us know who is with us. And of course, ask questions when our guests come on. Let me say hello to Maria Jesus. Always good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Keep saying hi. Keep saying hi. Love it. Also, let me give you a legal disclaimer. Lots of times I said the same thing, but it's necessary. So, we have a disclaimer of responsibility saying that the points of view and opinions shared here are not necessarily those of SOC. We do everything that we can to bring to you guys all of the leaders that are here to share information. And so there are certain waters that we can navigate in and others that we can't. So, oh, hello, Maida. Thanks for being with us. So, before we bring on our first guest, I want you to know that you don't want to miss tomorrow, because tomorrow we have the Commissioner of Environmental Health, Claire Evers. She has been with us since the beginning, since we started the forum, and then she brings the most recent information about coronavirus. And you guys know that the governor took some emergency action, and he gave some suggestions. So we're going to see what Claire has to say for more information. Also, Friday, we're going to have Pastor Marty Galderon from God's Touch Ministry to share a little bit about his organization and what they're doing for the community. Today, we're also going to talk about the different services that they offer, helping people that are getting out of jail, and helping them get back into the community. So, critical update. I mentioned that the governor made another announcement, an emergency announcement, and I want to share so that you guys can take it into consideration. We're always sharing honestly with you. Me and my two kids, I have a cough. So we went and we got our test at the Brewers Stadium. We were in line about 2 hours, so that you know how the process is. We were able to, while we were in line, we were able to complete some information so that when we got to the point to have the test done, they already had all of the information ready. So we just showed the email that has a code. In a minute, they did the test and we were out. So once we got to that point, maybe 3 minutes from the beginning of the line to the end. All of it took about 2 hours. So then 3 to 5 days, we'll have our results. So we're all locked down, we're closed in the house, and we're not going anywhere. Just so that everybody knows about the situation. And it is very serious. So I am very happy to always see my friend and my colleague. He's a community leader, very sincere and dedicated to the community, everything he does personally and professionally. And everything he does very well. So I'm going to let him explain all of the roles that he has in the community. But today he's with us as the chair of the FPC. Hello, Nelson. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Good, good. Nice to see your face. I needed it. So, Nelson, we have a lot to talk about. First, are we going to share? Let's share with everybody all the different roles that you have in the community. And then after that, we'll talk about the commission. Like Tammy mentioned, I am Nelson Soler. I'm here today as the chair of the FPC, the Fire and Police Commission. Other than that, I am an owner of a small business. Less than 5 people here on the south side of Milwaukee. So we help small businesses with accounting, technical training. Additionally, I'm the founder and president of the Latino Chamber of Commerce. I'm also part-time the executive director of the Empresaria Latina. It's a nonprofit organization that helps people that want to open a small business, if they want to better their finances, buy houses, educate themselves, connect them with other people so they can meet their goals. Wow, Nelson does a lot, and he's always looking out for the community's well-being. We're super grateful for everything that you do. So let's explain a little bit about the point of the FPC Commission or the FPC. So the Fire and Police Commission has been around for a long time, and the reason that it was created was to avoid in the process of the naming of the chief and the chief of police and fire. So we want people that are independent of any political group. So there's two groups. I am part of the director part, and there are a lot of different functions, but it is to hire the chiefs of fire and police. Both report to 7 citizens. None of us have been police or fire people, but it's all the administrative duties, complaints, recruitment, hiring, discipline of the fire and police department. I'm I'm part of the group. The alderman elects people, but the common council has to confirm it. And then also you have to go under a personal investigation. You look all the way back to when we changed our diapers. In my case, it took up to 6 months. After that, we have to do public appearances and then answer questions from other citizens and residents from the city. So it's that's an overview of what they do. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to not cough so then I turn off my mic. So Nelson, the commission does a lot. I don't think that we've ever been so involved because of the recent history with what the commission does. So now starting when Marisabel Cabrera was before you, she was the president. In my observation, that was the first time in my time that I've seen the commission in their authority and in their power, and to be really independent. So this is a new era for the commission. That's why I'm not so anxious or I'm not so impatient with everything that's happening. Because when there's a change, such a drastic change, like what we've seen with Marisabel and leadership, that's not going to be easy. Somebody has to pay. So that's why I'm thankful for you, for Marisabel, but I also have hope for the commission because it's a new change. But let's talk a little bit about everything that's happened, Nelson. Let's see if I can review. First of all, Chief Morales is now ex-chief. There was a time after that he was let go, there was a process where a big part of the community was not in agreement with his leadership and saying that he wasn't complying with the things that he had to do for his work. So before it was Morales. Now another conflict is that they haven't met up with all or haven't applied or filled all of the positions that there are available at the commission. Also, recently, the executive director of the commission resigned. Her personal chief resigned. Commissioner Roblakowski resigned. So now we're looking for a new chief, and there's a little conflict there too. So let's explain first who has the power. If we're talking about the alderman, the common council, you guys, the administrative office. So let's make it all make sense for folks. Thank you, Tammy, for all of your questions. I wrote them all down to be able to go one by one. So first of all, let's talk about how all of these groups interact. So the group of directors, and I'm the leader until next year, we're responsible for recruitment to make sure that it's inclusive of the entire community. We're also responsible for making sure that all of the policies or procedures, policies, standards of operation for every department, we have the final say, not the common council, us as a group. We can also discipline anybody in any of the departments, from the chief all the way down to any person that has been sworn in. They can be a firefighter or a police officer. What can't we do? The alderman is the one that dominates. I can't nominate another commissioner. There are some people that say, please recommend this person. That's not my function. I can't and shouldn't do that, because as a dependent group, we don't bring other people that we know. The alderman has that ability when he wants, when he thinks it's necessary. So that doesn't mean if somebody is nominated, they're going to be approved. There's a whole process. It doesn't mean they're permanently in. He does a confirmation. Now, don't have anything to do with the budget. We receive maybe 1,000 emails about the budget, the police budget. We do not have any power able to decide anything about money. That's all in the Common Council. They're the only constitution that has the ability. So here we have two functions. We have complete control. I'm sorry, they have complete control about how things are purchased. We cannot say to the police, hey, buy these cars, or you have to buy these cameras. That is all in the Common Council. The alderman also has the power to name the executive director. So, in that aspect, the executive director of the commission does not report necessarily directly to the commissioners. He or she reports to the alderman. So there's four people that interact. The alderman names the commissioners and the executive director. The Common Council has control over confirming the people, the ED or the commissioners, and they also are covering the budget. And we, as a group, have all power about recruitment, job politics, and discipline. And then we also, there's also the police union and the firefighter union. Wow, super complicated, folks. Nothing easy about that, like you would think. So So of course it's gonna, get a little mixed up and the situation gets a little more complicated. And can't forget also the city lawyer and well the office, the department, they also have a big role. What we can do legally and so lots of spoons in the pot. So Nelson, let's start just in case we don't get time. Let's start with what I think is most important for people. How are we going to select the next chief of police? So where are we and how's it gonna go? How's it going to go? If you remember, the chief is named by the commissioner. So right now there's 6 who have resigned, and I haven't talked about that. So let's talk about the chief right now. About the chief, we've had 12 candidates. Now we're down to 6 finalists. From those 6 finalists, we're down to 3. From those 3, they have been in front of the community last Saturday. And then those finalists are going to be in front of the community again on the 21st, from 1 to 4. I will direct it, I'll open it up, I'll be the moderator, take control of the meeting. So it's important that all of you guys, directly or indirectly, go or don't go, you can send us comments. So Tammy, I've sent your group, Tammy, where they can send comments. If you have a question, English, Spanish, however you want to write it, just send it. We have staff that speak both languages, and if we need interpretation, we'll look for it. So it's important to hear your opinion. So after those 3 finalists, all of the commissioners will be listening with everything that happened on the 7th and what happened on the 21st. And then we'll be getting letters of recommendation. We're getting questions. And based on all of that information, then we'll take the final decision. It's a public decision. So we hope it's around December 3rd. We're not exactly sure, COVID and all kinds of other things. But so that people understand, up until December 3rd, or until we are able to get together and vote, there's still an opportunity to have other information, to give your opinions, to ask questions. So once that, so when we're in the same meeting, either December 3rd or maybe the week after, so then we'll listen to, after voting, perdón, había un corto de audio. So then we are going to see who is named. We'll see who has the more votes. And then hopefully we don't have a tie and we don't have to start again. Okay, so now you have 6 directors. Of course, there could be a tie, and then we'd have to start all over again. A tie, well, usually what we have to do, so if we are tied, there will be a reconsideration. We'll vote again. Maybe somebody changes. After 3 times of voting, if there's no solution, we come to another day. So then we'll have to go back to each individual and get more information from the public. And if we, until that process is done, we don't have a key. Yes, Chief Gregson will be in the office until he retires. Now, let's say it's the worst outcome. We don't name anybody. Up until we get it. So it's hard. We don't have an exact answer. Lots of things can change. So that's what's happening. Everybody can participate. Yes, it's all virtual. It's impossible with all of the stuff going on with health because if we would put 100 people in a room with 6 feet of separation, no. At least this way, people can ask questions. It's just not possible to do that right now. So we've had a virtual meeting. Lots of people participated. And we hope that on the 21st, a lot of people participate too. And if you can't participate, but you still have a question, something that's heavy on your mind, send it, email, phone, fax. There's lots of different ways to communicate. So how many people participated last Saturday, do you know? Well, we're still waiting confirmation. It's kind of hard to say because people can come in and go out. So people are coming in, going out, and it's hard to have a complete number. So we have to see how many individual registrations. I know there were more than 50 people. I think that's a little low, but that is more than last time. When I have a final number, I'll be happy to share it with you guys. Can people participate in different languages? I mean, I'm going to be there. If somebody wants to make, ask and questions, I'll be there. In the first section, we had one of the coordinators, Ana Diaz. She works with the community. She's bilingual, so she can interpret too. I don't think anybody asked for it, but if anybody wants to participate in the second one, I'm more than happy to interpret. There's no problem. Is there a cost to participate? No. This is a public event. This is like what we're seeing right now. Go to meeting. You can have up to 1,000 people at a time. And that's why we're using that system. There's very few systems that allow up to so many people to participate. And this way you can see people like we're seeing each other now. Okay, so let's talk about what's going in front of the commission. We're going to have a new chief. Also, do you guys know when we're going to have a new executive director for the commission? Not executive director. I participated in the interview. There were about 19 applicants. There are 4 finalists that are now in front of the alderman. Now he has to look at them, and then from there we'll see a naming, and that is just a naming. From that, they'll go in front of the common council. They'll get to meet them. There will be a few public meetings, and then the commission will decide. I will let my people know that we're going to have a formal naming. And that way we know that the relationship between everybody is clear. That about not understanding. If we just want to avoid any problems, we also have seen confusion. You mentioned earlier about Morales. he was not fired. He was demoted. He changed from the position that he had, and he decided to retire. He was not fired. So there was some confusion there, and all of those things need to go to the common council. So I know in the budget, in the case, they wanted to negotiate salary with us. We don't have the ability to negotiate salary. We can name the chief, but the salary is decided by the common council administration. Even more complicated. Are there people that are so the commissioner who has the authority to be able to elect? Okay, so the commission is under certain legislators to have the ability to clear up anything. The position is you know, you gotta sit on your hands, roll up your sleeves, and when they're when they're hired, they work independently, but they're also serving the aldermen. So us as civilians, we aren't seeing the political spot. We're looking at what's better for the residents, and you know what's the best for the residents after hearing their meetings and hearing other nonprofits. So I have my full-time job. Everybody else has their full-time job. We do this partial time. I'm between 20 to 30 hours per week. They give us a little less than a dollar per hour. And people sometimes think, and I'm going to say, oh, I want to go to your office at the city. I don't have an office at the city. I'm just a part-time. I have my regular business. And they give us a place to have our meetings when we meet. We don't have an office. We're not employees of the city. We're almost volunteers. There's somebody else um, saying that you guys need to be paid as full time. Wow. Now some other people are doing saying that the commission needs to be more independent. So you have the election and the nomination, and so that power is now in the hands of the state, right? Yes, remember, the, the commission's job is to eliminate the political part. So if it is elected official, their loyalty is for the people that they represent, not necessarily. So I've always had mixed feelings because if I have to make a campaign, am I really independent? Also, another question is that there are people that think that the executive director should be chosen by the commission. I agree with that, but I also disagree because the alderman has the power to rename people. So if the executive director would reply or report right to us, and we would think we have the ability to pick the chief of police, the chief of fire, but we can't pick the executive director. It's like there's not consistent, and there's always going to be that relationship. So I think that having somebody like that would allow us to be a little more independent. And right now, we're always between a rock and a hard place. All right, so it's more balancing the power and the independence of the commission with the nomination of the alderman and the common council. But there's so much politics in there. If the alderman doesn't move, then it doesn't move. So if they're fighting with the common council, and then nobody moves. So that's why some people are saying, you know, it's not a democracy. But none of this is out of politics because there's no life without politics right now. So, anyways, we're gonna see what happens there. Nelson, any other announcements that you want to share with us? No, I just know a lot of people are talking about the appointment of the chief. Call us. You can call, give your opinions, your information, your comments. If you're interested in becoming a commissioner, we need diversity. So apply. It's just a nomination. Talk to your alderman, pressure them a little bit. It is true that we can't be in political points, but we can try and reduce much static as possible. So I know there are some groups that are for police and against the police, but we make a decision with all of the information that's put in front of us, not with our feelings or emotions. And that's why I am a central commissioner. I know that some people don't agree with my vote. I'm only one of seven, though. I just give my opinion and my vote. Everybody else does the same. And it's prohibited that we consult to vote. In reality, we created the body to avoid those kinds of interactions. We can't be at the same place at the same time. We have to announce our meetings. We don't talk between each other. It's very difficult to collaborate and things like that. Because within our group, I know nothing is perfect, but we've been around for more than 100 years. So I think since this was incepted at a state level, they had a goal, and I feel like they've started to meet that, even though we've had lots of challenges. Thank you so much, Nelson, for your work, for your hard work, and for your service. Now, till we see you next time. Take care. Okay, you guys heard it. Hopefully, you got more information than ever before about what the commission does and what's happening there. So now I want to go to the next segment. So now we're going to update about coronavirus. COVID-19 is a new infection that is worse in older folks. Maybe you've noticed that some things have changed because of it. Doesn't matter where you live, you still want to see your family and your friends as much as possible. But you also want to avoid COVID-19. You can with good hygiene and physical distance. Your flu shot and letting people know if you have any symptoms. When you understand how viruses spread, you can change your behavior to be able to stop the spread. That helps to not spread COVID-19. You can spread COVID-19 if you're in contact with another person that has the virus. If somebody with the virus coughs or sneezes and their germs meet you, if you touch your mouth or your face after touching something that someone infected has touched, like a door handle. Also, there are some other ways that you can protect yourself and other people from COVID-19. Good hygiene always helps to stop the spread. So, wash your hands with water or disinfectant. Cough or sneeze in the corner of your elbow. Disinfect everything that you touch frequently and stop touching your face. Physical distance also helps. That means seeing less people, less frequency, and less people, and at least 1.5 meters of distance. No kissing, hugging, and stretching or shaking hands. Flu shot helps keep you healthy. It does not prevent COVID-19, but it will protect you from the flu that is also a serious disease. If you have any of the following symptoms, talk to your medical provider immediately so that you can have a COVID-19 test. If you're sick, they'll take good care of you. Maybe they'll ask you to stay in your room to be isolated from other people. Don't get scared if your caretakers take caution using masks. They're just following everything that they can to stop the spread and not be infected. Again, good hygiene, physical distance, flu shot, and letting your doctor know about any symptoms. You can avoid being contagious. Everybody together can reduce the spread of COVID-19. Thank you so much, Marlene, for finding that video, educating us a little more. Like I said before, I was in line 2 hours to have the COVID test because me and my little monsters are a little sick and we want to verify if it's just a cold or if it's COVID, and I'll let you know when I get my results. So now let's say hi. Trini is with us. Elizabeth también, who says thank you for all of that information. Maria de Jesus, thank you. I really had no idea how much work every organization does. So now an update, civic update that Gabby has set up for us, a video about how to do a revote in the U.S. So the race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump has created a lot of tension, and lots are asking, how do you recount votes? First, you have to remember, in the U.S., the presidential election is indirect. It depends on who has the most electoral college votes. So that means it doesn't matter who has the most individual votes. Actually, it matters who has at least 270 of the 538 electoral votes. And how does that work? Every state has a number of votes, of electoral votes. So more people, more votes. California has 55. The candidate that has more votes in the state takes the electoral vote for that state. So if you win with California, you get 55. But there is not a rule on how to count the popular vote. It varies depending on every state, and that depends on the federal system that the United States has. Also, there is not a central electoral authority like a lot of Latino American countries have. So it's like a football game without a referee. But now we have a bunch of referees. They decide the times that their voting centers open, close, if it's fax, if it's electronic, and especially the last date that you can send in and still have counted your vote by mail. So now, because of the pandemic, so many vote to avoid going out the day of the election. So there were so many politics. Biden is asking you to follow the rules, saying please vote early. Trump said from the beginning, voting by mail can cause fraud. So they disputed different states and about extending or limiting the date. So there have been so many votes by mail, so many laws and rules. So some states, like Florida, they started counting their votes 40 days before the election. And they gave their results that same day. Wisconsin, they couldn't start to count until the same day of the election. And then how do you decide who wins? Each state publishes their unofficial results. The actual count isn't known till days or weeks after. That's not only these elections, but all elections. Lastly, we have to look about the projected winners as well. That's based not knowing. That's based on knowing who is close to that magic number of 270 electoral votes. So we're also talking about all of the different specialist groups in every state that are reporting their own counts of the vote. So when they confirm that there is a lead, they project or they try to say who will win. And okay, the video cut off. Thank you so much, Gabby. I think there's a second part to the video, maybe. Okay, well, we're going to keep going, and if Gabby finds it for us, then we'll put it back on. So, if you have questions or if you haven't said hi, please do so. Everything that we put in the comments, and I want to remind you guys, all of the comments are in English and in Spanish. This is the first time that Alan is doing this for us. He's new with us. So I want to remind you guys that we appreciate everybody that's with us. Elizabeth, Trine, Mayra, and I want to ask a favor. If you could please fill out the survey. 2 or 3 questions. And if you can, give me a little emoji or something, let me know. Now we're going to keep moving. And I want to remind you guys. Oh, sorry, Gabby, can you share the information about the survey? Has this forum been helpful for you? What part of the forum can we better or change? Let us know by filling out a quick survey that can be found in the comment section. Thank you for being with us. I can see that Elizabeth said she already did the survey. 2 more to be able to say that you're going to do the survey. The link is right there for you. So let me remind you guys. Oh, sorry, I'm a little confused. Thanks for your patience with me. Before we keep going, we have another segment, another special guest. I think I've known her for more than 2 decades, Vanessa Llanas. Let's welcome her. Hello, Tammy. How are you? I love your house. It is absolutely wonderful. I love seeing it. So, welcome, Vanessa. Let's talk about your role with a senator, your function, and then we'll share your other news. So, talk to us about your function in the office. My title is Regional Representative. So, I work for our federal senator, Cindy Baldwin. She represents us in Washington, D.C. She represents the whole state. Every state has 2 federal senators, and she is one of them. I work for her as a regional representative. My work is more in the area of the county of Milwaukee, Washington, Ozaukee, Waukesha County. I try to know people, let them know about what's happening at a federal level, listen to them if they have questions about what's happening at the federal level, and then talking to the senator about what people are saying, what are the topics that people are interested in, what are the things that they want to know. And also, when we're not in COVID, when we can see each other in person, then we go to events in the region. I'm there by Tammy's side, informing her about the event, introducing her to people, and all that comes with it. So, what I really care about is trying to give people here in Wisconsin, especially Latino folks, all of the information that's important about what's happening and what I can't say it to with our government, sorry, with our federal government. That word gets me all the time because you get tired. Yeah, by 4 in the afternoon, we've worked all day, right? We get tired too, folks. So, Vanessa, thank you very much. Thank you to the senator for letting you be with us today. I know she tries to be with us too, and we're always super grateful. So today, let's explain to people what's happening and how people can ask for help during COVID, like stimulus checks. I think that's what we're talking about today, right? Yes. For, for people that don't file. So the IRS, I don't know if there's a Spanish word for that. The IRS announced that for people that don't file taxes, that so people that don't file taxes, so let's say people that doesn't have an income, or if they have a super low income, less than 12,000 a year, they don't have to file taxes. But if they're a citizen, they still have the right to receive the stimulus check. And there are some people that still haven't gotten it. So the IRS announced that if those people still have not received their stimulus, and if they don't have an income, or if your income is like Social Security or railroad benefits, or if your income is less than 12,000 a year, they have until 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, the 21st of November, to go on the internet and put all of their information so that the IRS can see if they qualify for the COVID stimulus. So what they need to have is your complete name, your date of birth, social security number, address, and then email address, sorry. Also, bank account name, and then the type of bank, if it's checking or savings, and a PIN number. So a PIN number that the IRS will give them. Also, you need to have state identification or a driver's license. So it's super important for people to have all of that information, and that I recommend that they don't wait until Saturday. Start today trying to get it done. And if you need help, just call the IRS. Or ask help from a family member, or also I sent you guys the website. It's just for Spanish. Like my dad, for example. He doesn't do taxes. So I told him, go to the website, put in all of your information, and then that way they can send you your check if you qualify. So Vanessa, I'm telling my uncle the same thing, the one that I helped, because he hasn't gotten his, and so I'm trying to help him. He tried to the other day, but he couldn't do it. So now we're going to the link that's in the comments, sitting together with him to put in all of the information. So what's going to happen when they do that on the internet, they're going to get an email from the IRS saying, we've gotten your information, and if there's any error, they will tell them that. And if not, they'll say, okay, we got it. But it's very important that people do it as soon as that they can, because nobody has been ready for COVID, right? The government either. We have been so full. So it is very important that if you don't do your taxes, because you don't have high income or any income, or lower than that $12,000, it's important to do it as soon as possible, right? Because if there's any complications, it takes a few days to be able to fix it. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Like always. Thank you so much to the senator, and thank you again. Thank you. So before we say goodbye, I want to remind you guys that tomorrow we will have the health commissioner with us. He will be giving us an update about COVID. Friday, Marty Calderon, Pastor Marty Calderon will be with us talking about his organization in the community. And then Thanksgiving, we're going to have some videos all week for you guys. Collaborations that we've done with other organizations. All of, presentations and interviews. That way you guys can have the opportunity to see those and, to change the form up a little bit. The last 10 days of the year, we're going to have countdown like you do for New Year's for the 10 most viewed interviews of the forum. So we will be looking at those 10 and we will give them with you guys. We'll let you guys know what they are. Also, I want to thank you guys for being with us, remind you to take the survey, and then we're also going to just say thank you to you guys and our financial partners. Hello, top viewers. How are you? I am Gabby, manager of Civic Engagement, and I am here to thank all of you guys for being here with us at another community forum live, and thank you for completing our survey, which you can always find in our comments. We also want to thank you guys. Other than thanking you guys, we also want to thank our sponsors, which are Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grant, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tide Foundation, Employ Milwaukee, and all of the faithful individuals that have given us personal donations. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at another forum.